always ready.
Okay, good morning class. Good morning, Dr. Maya. We hope you get well soon. According to the 25 biggest campus riots of all time, from the complex.com, in 1962, the student of University of Mississippi, they disliked the idea of having a new African American student. So 2,500 students have formed to make one of the biggest riots in the world, causing 2 people to die and 75 to be injured, with public property of millions of dollars. You might think of this as just racism, but in matter of fact, it's a combination of both freedom of speech and racism. So, because these students were allowed to express their minds, so this expression of mind led to hate speeches, which were a big factor in organizing riots. In 1999, in Michigan State University, between 5,000 to 10,000 disappointed fans expressed their minds by starting a riot following Sparky's loss in a basketball game, leading to 71 students being arrested and damages worth of $500,000. And recently, in 2012, in the University of Kentucky, now I'm hungry, Kentucky. Another fans of 10,000 students swarmed the streets, flipping cars and starting fires because of the football game. So freedom of speech is the main reason behind all these riots and conflicts. And today I'm going to persuade you how freedom of speech causes harm more than good. To help us get a whole picture, as we will first examine what freedom of speech is and when it is legal and illegal according to the United States Book of Laws. And then we will talk about how political alliances are formed. And finally, we will propose together solutions that prevent these radical problems and conflicts. To begin with, according to David Smith and Locke Torres, 2006, freedom of speech goes back to 399 BC, when Socrates spoke to the jury at his trial, and he said, "If you offer to let me go this time on condition, I am not any longer to speak my mind." In 1215 was the signing of the Magna Carta, the cornerstone of England's liberty, and in 1791 was the first United States Bill of Rights that guarantees the 4 freedoms, which are religion, meaning that every individual has the right to choose whatever religion he wants. Donald Trump will not like this, of course, and also the press, and the right to assemble and the speech. And today we'll be going to talk about speech. According to the dictionary.com, freedom of speech is the right of people to express their opinions publicly without governmental interference, subject to the laws against libel, incitement to violence or rebellion. Moreover, now that we have examined what freedom of speech is, and when did it start, let's talk about how people form into groups making political alliances. Political alliances happen when certain people agree on certain agenda. Certain agendas and cooperate between each other. These alliances and cooperation create disagreement among the students, and the larger the alliance, the larger the debate will be, the larger the chance of having a conflict. However, someone might argue and say that freedom of speech is the right of every individual, and everyone has the right to say whatever he or she wants to say, but if we think about it in real life, we all have our opinions regarding certain people. I have my opinion about you, and you have your opinion about me. But do we address these opinions out loud? It will be rude. So there are constructive methods that we can express our minds, but without it being an offensive one. According to the article Campus Divided by May Shamsuddin in Madam Masr 2014, after the bad situations that happened in Egypt, a variety of student unions have struck, causing damages and calling their students followers not to attend classes. This was an unconstructive expression of mind. Therefore, this did not do the students neither the society any good. In fact, they gained nothing but letters of suspension from the university, and nothing has even changed. This is a clear indication that political alliances are a waste of time and resources. So now that we have explored how political alliances are formed and what they are used for, let's discover solutions that fulfill the students' demands without the need to form political alliances in order to be heard. According to Guy and Heidi Burgess, the co-directors from the University of Colorado in their article, Student Protest, Negotiation, and Constructive Confrontation. They mentioned that one key element to reduce the number of problems and conflicts is constructive confrontation. Constructive confrontation is the art of realizing the distinction between the long-term dispute episodes and the short-term ones. For example, there's a number of episodes that could lead to conflicts, like the promotion of a certain unlikable faculty member, or the university may be investing in companies engaging in unacceptable environments, like the sweatshops, for example. These disputes can mainly be resolved by negotiation, where the parties put their voluntary effort to come up with a mutually accepted solution. And to settle such an immediate dispute, however, negotiation does not always resolve the long-term disputes, but it certainly reduces the problem and changes the direction from conflicts and riots to constructive future decision-making. For instance, according to the Department of Justice in Canada, they define negotiation as any form of direct or indirect communication, whereby the parties who have opposing interests discuss the form of any joint of action to ultimately resolve the dispute between them. Negotiation is either pursued by parties themselves, the direct way, or it can be favored by a mediator to overcome the barriers. This is the indirect way. Furthermore, if God forbids a conflict was to happen in the university, the university administrators and the students should be patient and look at social justice confrontations as a long view investment, because it takes time. And changes in such disputes does not happen overnight or a semester. And hopefully this patience would lead to acceptable results. Therefore, it is a good idea to establish institutions which encourages constructive confrontation for the long run. Another constructive solution can be assessing the conflict, determining whether it is ready for negotiation or not, because many times we tend to overthink issues and give it attention more than it actually deserves. For instance, in highly escalated conflicts where people become angry and distrustful, it is a bad idea to negotiate. In this case, because the students will not negotiate in good faith, they will probably think that the university will not listen to them because it is too late, and therefore the negotiation will be a waste of time. To sum up, university administrators should take into consideration the students' issues from the beginning to avoid these radical problems by making a separate division only dedicated for the student affairs, where they can express their minds to the official people and ask for their demands there. In conclusion, while it is a good way to express ourselves and state our opinions, still those opinions, when spoken loudly in a non-constructive way, it would most probably lead to conflict and instability in our campuses. Therefore, our university, AUS, should keep banning freedom of speech to keep our campus safe and separate from politics, because our main goal is to get educated. Thank you. I'm sorry I read too much from it. I wasn't really prepared. Any questions? No questions. Thank you.